When you hear the name Melissa, what do you think? A pretty girl, maybe? Someone beautiful with great charm and personality? Well, not for David Smith. While Melissa was a real person, David decided to use the name for a dangerous digital virus that completely rocked an entire country.
Can you explain what internet is?
The year is 1999, and computers and the internet were still relatively new. Although most people hadn't quite figured out how it all worked or were ignorant about digital security, all that changed on March 26 when an awful digital virus was released. Tens of thousands of systems infected. Personal, business, and government emails slowed down, and it would cause over $80 million in damages. But this begs so many questions, doesn't it? What kind of virus was this exactly? What was the aim? And of course, who was behind it? Well, brace yourself, because the answers to these questions may just shock you. In the late of March 1999, the online world was rattled by a cyber attack orchestrated by a programmer named David Lee Smith. In a brazen act of digital sabotage, Smith hijacked an America Online or AOL account and utilized it as a launchpad for disseminating malicious content across the internet's vast web of interconnected platforms. Smith's nefarious scheme unfolded on an internet news group dubbed Alt.Sex. You see, Smith knew something that was embarrassingly true. Nothing gets people more excited or thrilled like explicit content. And he knew just how much adult content that the majority of Americans consumed on a daily basis. So he decided to use this addiction against them. As a result, Smith enticed unsuspecting users with the promise of accessing premium adult content websites free of charge. He was sure it would be hard to resist. So concealed within this enticing offer lurked a terrible trap. Users who took the bait and downloaded the purported file found themselves unwittingly unleashing a very potent computer virus upon their systems. Smith called it the Melissa virus. Just in case you may be wondering why he named it so, it was an homage to a Florida-based stripper. This malicious software quickly propagated itself across the digital landscape, igniting a wildfire of cyber contagion. Smith employed a hijacked AOL account as the gateway to disseminate the virus across the internet, choosing the provocative platform of Alt.Sex newsgroup as the initial point of infection. From there, the virus swiftly infiltrated similar sexually themed groups and adult websites before infiltrating corporate networks, leaving a trail of digital disruption in its wake. Despite Smith being associated with the hijacked AOL account, the virus itself was attributed to a notorious macrovirus writer known as Quijibo. The attribution was facilitated by a method of comparing Microsoft Word documents using a globally unique identifier, which helped trace the origins of the virus back to Smith. At the heart of the virus lay the list.doc file, harboring a cunning Visual Basic script designed to surreptitiously embed the infected code into a template file utilized by Microsoft Word for storing custom settings and default macros. Once the unsuspecting recipient opened the attachment, the virus stealthily burrowed into the computer's storage, poised to execute its malicious agenda. The virus then initiated a sequence of actions, creating an Outlook object to access the Outlook global address book and extracting the first 50 names listed therein. With this roster in hand, Melissa proceeded to dispatch copies of itself to these addresses, perpetuating its spreading with alarming efficiency. Melissa's insidious reach extended across multiple iterations of Microsoft Word and Outlook, including versions 97 and 2000, as well as Outlook 97 or 98 email clients. While the presence of Microsoft Outlook was not a prerequisite for receiving the virus via email, its absence limited the virus's ability to propagate through alternative email channels, underscoring the intricate interplay between software vulnerabilities and the mechanisms of viral transmission. The bait was meticulously crafted, exploiting human curiosity and vulnerability with deceptive file names like sexy.jpg or naked wife, or employing duplicitous entreaties such as "here is the document you requested, don't show anyone else." Through the artful manipulation of social engineering, the Melissa virus operated as a malevolent automated chain letter, perpetuating its spread with ruthless efficiency. The repercussions of the virus extended beyond mere inconvenience, causing significant disruptions to email systems worldwide, devouring Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Exchange servers with a deluge of infected emails. Among the notable casualties were major organizations such as Microsoft, Intel Corp, and even the formidable United States Marine Corps, whose operations were hampered by the relentless onslaught of the digital menace called Melissa.
Late Friday and worked like we had pre-computer days. We called people, we faxed them, we telephoned them.
As a matter of fact, the severity of the situation prompted a swift response from the Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT, a Pentagon-funded cybersecurity service based at Carnegie Mellon University. With the phones ringing off the hook, CERT fielded calls from over 250 organizations grappling with the virus's fallout. This alarming influx of inquiries suggested that at least 100,000 workplace computers had fallen victim to the insidious malware. The scope of the virus's impact was further underscored by the staggering statistic that an estimated 1 million email accounts had been hijacked in its wake, amplifying the chaos and confusion wrought by its rapid dissemination. Despite concerted efforts to contain the outbreak, complete eradication proved to be a protracted endeavor, with infected systems requiring extensive cleansing and restoration procedures. In essence, in more ways than one, the Melissa virus was the wake-up call they needed to understand the fragility of email systems and the staggering potential for devastation unleashed by a single malicious actor. In response to this watershed moment, a series of concerted efforts were initiated to fortify the digital fortress and safeguard against future incursions. Firstly, antivirus vendors mobilized swiftly, rolling out updates to their software to bolster defenses against the Melissa virus. Moreover, the incident underscored the critical need for user education and awareness initiatives. Efforts were redoubled to enlighten users about prudent computing practices, emphasizing the perils of opening email attachments from unknown sources and stressing the importance of maintaining up-to-date antivirus protection. In parallel, significant investments were made in fortifying email security infrastructure. Email service providers and organizations alike deployed advanced filtering and spam detection mechanisms. On the legal and policy front, governments worldwide responded with urgency, enacting or enhancing cybercrime legislation to hold perpetrators of digital malfeasance accountable. Law enforcement agencies intensified their efforts in tracking down and prosecuting cybercriminals, signaling a resolute stance against illicit activities in cyberspace.
Cyberspace knows no borders. So does cybercrime. So we have to think global to continue to pack those punches.
Collectively, these multifaceted measures represented a paradigm shift in cybersecurity strategy, reflecting a newfound resolve to confront and mitigate the evolving threat landscape. The Melissa virus may have catalyzed this transformation, but its enduring legacy lies in the resilience and vigilance instilled within the cybersecurity community as it continues to navigate the treacherous waters of the digital frontier. Within a span of just a few days, the collective efforts of cybersecurity experts and IT professionals succeeded in containing the virus's spread, mitigating its immediate threat to global networks. However, the process of purging infected systems of the malicious code proved to be a lingering challenge, prolonged the ordeal for organizations grappling with the aftermath of the fastest spreading email worm of its time. On April 1st, 1999, the reign of David Lee Smith came to an abrupt end as law enforcement agencies, acting on a tip from AOL, orchestrated a collaborative effort involving the FBI, the New Jersey State Police, Monmouth Internet, a Swedish computer scientist, and other key stakeholders. Smith's arrest in New Jersey marked the culmination of an intensive investigation into his role in unleashing the Melissa virus, a digital plague that wreaked havoc on personal computers and network systems across business and government sectors, accruing an estimated $80 million in damages. Facing a litany of charges stemming from his malicious activities, Smith stood accused of orchestrating a widespread campaign of disruption that left a trail of devastation in its wake. On December 10, 1999, he entered a plea of guilty to a second-degree charge of computer theft, acknowledging his culpability in perpetrating the nefarious scheme. The wheels of justice continued to turn as Smith was brought to trial, with the sentencing phase culminating on May 1, 2002. In a courtroom verdict that echoed the severity of his crimes, Smith received a stern sentence of 20 months in federal prison, underscoring the gravity of his transgressions. Furthermore, he was slapped with a substantial fine totaling $5,000.